Hello, everyone. My name is Dahlia, and I'm excited to welcome you to LinkedIn Inspiration Marketing Solutions 101 with Jeff Lancaster from LinkedIn Canada. Postmedia Solutions is excited to bring this webinar to you all today. This webinar will be recorded, as well as some additional resources will be sent out after the presentation. If you do not receive an email, you can reach out to your digital consultant or myself. I'll make sure to put my email in the chat. For those of you who are new to our webinars and Postmedia, Postmedia provides expertise in strategic print and digital marketing solutions. Known for quality, reach, and multi-vertical acumen, our focus is on building long-term collaborations with our clients. And we've worked with almost 30,000 of them, which means we are uniquely qualified to provide tailored campaigns that drive success for your business. Part of our collaboration is bringing webinars like today's to help educate on the importance of marketing for your business. And we're so lucky to have with us today two really amazing experts. I'm very excited to introduce our keynote speaker, Jeff Lancaster. Jeff Lancaster is the head of agency partnerships for LinkedIn Canada, helping the world's biggest agencies and their clients harness the power of LinkedIn's platform. His breadth of experience spans a 20-year career where he has held key leadership and business development roles at companies such as Group M, Catalyst, 24/7 Real Media, and Ringforce Digital. Jeff is also the chair of the board of directors for the IAB Canada. As well, we have Nicole Terry, Director of Search and Social at Postmedia Solutions. Nicole is an experienced customer-focused digital marketer with over 20 years working in marketing and advertising industry at some of Canada's top branding and advertising and digital agencies. Skilled in digital strategy, integrated marketing, paid search, social media advertising, and search engine optimization. Nicole serves to provide key strategic direction and support, partnering with clients and Postmedia's digital team. Nicole will be answering some questions in the chat as we move along, so don't hesitate to throw your questions in the chat, as well as Jeff will be answering a few questions at the end of the webinar. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to be passing it over to Jeff.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Dahlia. Great to be here with everyone today. And wow, great to see such a huge crowd. You can still hear our Microsoft Teams dinging away as more and more people jump on board. But I want to thank you guys all for joining us today, spending a little bit of time with us. Talk a little bit more about LinkedIn. Hopefully everyone is on LinkedIn and leveraging the platform. Maybe just some quick housekeeping here before we really jump in. What we're going to be taking you through today during the hour that we've got together. Like Dahlia said, we'll be taking questions at the end, but hoping to take you guys through a little bit of an overview of the LinkedIn platform, talk a little bit about our audience, our members, and the environment of LinkedIn overall. We're going to take you through, what marketing on LinkedIn actually looks like. How can you leverage the platform to try and drive results for your brand? So we'll talk through, how you can reach audiences on the platform, how you can launch campaigns, and how you can measure the results that you get from it. And then we'll sort of finish up towards the end with just, what's the latest coming from LinkedIn. We've got always, got some new stuff coming along that, marketers and members can take advantage of. So take you guys through some of that information. So without further ado, looks like there's still people jumping in, but we'll get started here, and maybe just get started overall, like with a quick little overall on LinkedIn. LinkedIn continues to evolve and change. I don't know if it will surprise a lot of the folks on the line today that LinkedIn's actually turning 19 years old this year. We've been around for a long time. We're kind of almost a veteran of of the online space. And you probably noticed big changes with LinkedIn. It's not your grandfather's LinkedIn anymore, where we're just sort of career site, job site, as a lot of people sort of think of us on. We've got a fully fledged value proposition for our members these days, where it's not just about careers. It's about what can I do to basically learn and grow and develop myself. And that's why people come to the platform. And so, you'll see with our feed, we see a lot of learning opportunities on the platform, ways that people can connect with their network, and just keep up with what's going on out in the professional community that is LinkedIn. We continue to see, huge increases in usage of the platform. You'll see here, year-on-year increase in conversations. We still, over the last year, have seen a 43% increase in the amount of conversations that's actually happening on LinkedIn. So professionals like yourselves are, leveraging the platform more and more today than ever before. And so, especially during these kind of like crazy COVID times. We've been really proud that we've been able to continue to drive value for our members, and that's why they keep coming back to LinkedIn. And, maybe just a quick little overview of the platform globally. I don't know if it will surprise you guys to see that there's more than 800 million professionals on LinkedIn, and our overall mission is to provide economic opportunity to every member of the global workforce. And that's why we've got, more than 800 million professionals globally, leveraging the platform. So no matter who you're looking to try and reach, whether you're trying to reach senior level decision makers, affluent C-level executives, decision makers, you can reach all of them on LinkedIn, which is the largest global community of professionals that you'll be able to reach people from all parts of the different, buying cycles. And even here in Canada, more than 20 million Canadians rely on LinkedIn. So, we do actually over-index in LinkedIn usage here in this market, here in Canada. And, you might ask, well, why is that? Our audience is really unique in that, our members are really purposeful when they come and visit the platform. They invest time in LinkedIn to be more productive, to be more successful, really to learn and grow. And as a result, they're more interested in learning about brands on LinkedIn. So when you compare that to other platforms, there's a big difference there. Our members are also, really the cornerstone of our platform, and really what's enabled us to maintain a productive, really trusted community that's continued to grow. So in this professional community, quality conversations and dialogues really thrive in the LinkedIn feed. Members communicate with each other, of course, but also with brands, and as they review and consider different products that they're willing to invest in. So ultimately, that can, yield results for you. You guys see here, brands on LinkedIn have seen a 33% increase in purchase intent resulting from advertising exposure on the LinkedIn platform. And certainly LinkedIn is the most common social network used, for buying decisions. So, 6 times, more audiences that have been exposed to both brand and acquisition messages on the LinkedIn platform. They're more than 6 times more likely to actually convert and to drive, greater value. And so that's why, probably not a big surprise, 82% of marketers, B2B marketers, realize that, their greatest success with LinkedIn versus some of the other channels that they buy. And then maybe just like one other quick addition from a mindset perspective, kind of in this post-COVID world, hopefully we're all in a post-COVID world, or at least we're entering one now. There's obviously a lot less, physical difference between in the office and being outside the office. We're, no longer physically going somewhere to do business, but they are digitally, doing business on LinkedIn. And so I think that's one thing that's unique to kind of keep in mind. When they do come to our platform, they're very purposeful and very much in a business mindset. And then additionally to that, because of this intent-driven mindset that our audience has, they're coming to learn, they're coming to grow, as we discussed. They generally tend to be more receptive to advertising messages when they're on the platform. So obviously an opportunity for you to take advantage of in terms of trying to reach the audiences that you want to do and actually be able to get a reception and drive that into results for your brand. So we've talked a lot about intent, and probably doesn't come as a big surprise to a lot of you that, consumers come to, a platform like LinkedIn with very, different or distinct intent versus maybe some of the other platforms that you'll see out there. They're coming to improve themselves, to improve their financial standing, to improve their career, to, explore opportunities, etc. So very much of a different intent, very much more of a leaned in intent that people come to the LinkedIn platform, maybe versus some of the other more consumer platforms that you'll sort of see out there. People generally, come to LinkedIn to, on a more purposeful way. They're more leaned in versus maybe when they're on some of the other platforms, they're maybe a little bit more leaned out, mindlessly scrolling the feed, etc. So something to keep in mind. We definitely have, a much more leaned in audience than most. And maybe one last point I wanted to make, which is, hugely important these days, as we know, is it's all about trust. And that's one of the things that as we continue to to grow the LinkedIn platform. Trust is something that comes into every decision as we continue to build out LinkedIn. And fortunately, we've been voted for 5 years running. These are numbers from Business Insider, their annual consumer platform study that they do, where they actually talk to consumers about what platforms they do use online and who they trust. So LinkedIn, we've been fortunate to be named the best platform in terms of protecting people's privacy, using their data in a reliable way, to have content that is both reliable, but also people feel safe in posting and participating on the platform. You can actually look at some of the other logos on this grid here and sort of see where some of the other platforms sort of lie. But trust is huge, and that's what we're really trying to do, is continue to nurture a trusted environment on LinkedIn that everybody can feel good about participating in. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea about our audience on LinkedIn, as well as the environment that they operate in. And again, hopefully all of you as professionals are participating on LinkedIn every day as well. But now I kind of wanted to jump over to marketing, and so what does it look like to actually do a marketing strategy on LinkedIn? Before we know and launch any sort of marketing strategy on LinkedIn, it's obviously incumbent that we know what are the steps that we need to kind of go through. And for all of you who are on the line as marketers, that these are the steps that you kind of go through in terms of planning out your marketing strategy. No different when it comes to LinkedIn and launching something on here. So think about your objectives. What are you trying to achieve? How do I find the audiences that I'm trying to appeal my brand to? How do I actually launch campaigns and start to get active out in the marketplace? And then how do I measure the results and know that there's value being delivered at the end of the day? So that's kind of what we're going to go through here. And I'm going to take the next little bit to kind of walk you through what that marketing process looks like on the LinkedIn platform, obviously in conjunction with our partners here at Postmedia that can be there to walk you guys through how to actually go ahead and do this. Maybe just a quick little step back before we jump in, and maybe just like, what's sort of the sweet spot for LinkedIn in terms of marketing and advertising. And certainly we talk about professionals in the largest professional community on LinkedIn. Obviously lends itself more to business and B2B, but not exclusively. One of the biggest growth areas that we've seen is actually business to consumer marketing over the last couple of years on LinkedIn. But probably wouldn't surprise you to hear things like financial services, education, technology are some of the most common types of verticals that work really, really well on LinkedIn. We work a lot in the government space and also in the business services space, but also things like industrial, manufacturing, media, and probably like one of our biggest growing areas is healthcare, where more and more of those types of conversations are happening on the LinkedIn platform. So a lot of different categories, both within B2B as well as B2C that, are kind of the sweet spot in terms of where LinkedIn marketing can be most effective, and brands can participate in the conversations that are happening on our platform. So something to think about. But when we talk about putting together that marketing strategy, on LinkedIn, it all comes back to, what your objectives are. What are you looking to try and achieve? So am I trying to, drive brand awareness, do things like consideration, so more mid-funnel, or am I trying to drive actions or conversions at the end of the day? No matter what your objective is that you're looking to try and accomplish, we do have a solution, on LinkedIn, and our LinkedIn advertising platform. So LinkedIn Campaign Manager, once you decide what your objective is, we can actually walk you through exactly how to go ahead and execute that, using our advertising tools, which will take you through today. So if you're trying to drive awareness, we'll take you through the targeting, we'll take you through campaign setup, and help you launch a campaign that makes sense for your brand, no matter whether you're trying to do awareness, consideration, or conversions. Okay, so we're all built around, what your objectives are at LinkedIn. Next, let's maybe talk about some ideas on like, how do we get started? And, certainly your partners and your friends here at Postmedia can be a big help. Reach out to them and they can kind of talk to you about what the opportunities might look like. couple of things to sort of think about. One, if you're interested in LinkedIn and how things can go, encourage you, like, go on the platform, research, the brand, that you're working with, research some of your competitors' brands. What kind of content are they posting on LinkedIn? You can also go to the ads tab on LinkedIn's company page experience. You can actually see, what ads or what content has been posted by your brand or even your competitor's brand in the past. And that's a good place to sort of start in terms of researching and getting a good idea of what content and what marketing messages have been put out on the platform. We can also be here to, help, research, what some of those opportunities might be, and also, provide recommendations around what types of audiences, what type of targeting would work best, and then get things set up in the LinkedIn campaign manager system. You can work with us here at LinkedIn to do that, or obviously with your friends here at Postmedia that are on the line with us today, to make sure that your campaign can be set up for success, and then launched, and then reviewed and optimized over time. Okay, next. What are some of the other things that I can do in terms of planning? One tidbit I wanted to give you here is an opportunity to actually forecast what campaign results might look like. This is a, kind of a tip that not a lot of people know, but certainly you can actually set up a test campaign on LinkedIn. You can just go to linkedin.com/ads, set up a test account. But if you want to know, what is my audience going to look like? How big is that audience on LinkedIn? What kind of budget is it going to take to actually reach that audience on our platform? And then what would be the expected results? Very easy to run a campaign forecast on the LinkedIn platform. And you'll see here, all you have to do is you just go in, like I said, set up a test campaign with an account on LinkedIn. You don't even have to be spending. You can actually just do this yourself and sort of sketch this out. And we'll show you when you set up a campaign, select your objective like we just talked about, and then create your first audience. And you can select all the targeting that would kind of go through it. We're going to go and deep dive into that a little bit more in a second. And we'll show you, and you'll sort of see here on the screen on the right-hand side, how big that audience is that you've built on LinkedIn, what the expected spending is for that audience in terms of your advertisement on the platform, and then what the expected results might be, click-through rate, etc., on the platform. So just a good, easy way to get a quick little forecast of what's working and what's not. Obviously, your friends at Postmedia can take you through this if you need a much more detailed proposal recommendation in terms of putting this together. Okay, so that's sort of step one, thinking about how we start to think about our strategy on LinkedIn. The next big step is, how do we find the audiences that we're looking to try and reach? What is the right audience that I want to try and reach? Fortunately, when it comes to professionals, our platform enables you to target decision makers at scale. So it's going to kind of take you guys through a little bit more about that, now. So how do I reach the quality audiences that are on LinkedIn? Well, it all comes back to, the LinkedIn profile. So like I said, hopefully all of you have a LinkedIn profile. The best way to sort of think about how to target on LinkedIn is essentially every element of someone's LinkedIn profile is available for targeting purposes by marketers, and kind of comes into a couple different buckets. So, you'll see on the left here is, really LinkedIn's first party data. So all of that profile information, so what company somebody works for, what industry they're part of, how big is that company, what is someone's job title, where are they located, where do they go to school, what groups are they part of. Any of that first party data, which is provided in people's profiles, can be leveraged for targeting purposes or layered together to create an audience. So that's sort of like, our differentiator in the marketplace. And, we've got our more than 800 million members globally updating their LinkedIn profiles. All of that information is available for targeting purposes. Next, we actually derive a lot of data from that first party data as well. So how senior is somebody? How many years of experience do they have in the market? What is their job function? So are they in sales? Are they in engineering? Are they in customer service? Any of those different job functions can be used as well. And job functions also work in tandem with job titles as well. So, we know there's millions and millions of unique job titles in the world. We actually bucket together job titles into specific job functions to make them a lot easier to work with from a marketing perspective. So especially just with there being so many unique different job titles can be effective, but maybe not always the right way to reach the audience that you're looking for. Sometimes using job function can be a lot more effective. Things like member traits is something that we've just introduced recently into the LinkedIn platform, as well as company lists. So, think about any of the different lists that you sort of see out there. Fortune 500, best companies to work for, fastest growing companies. Every year we come out with our LinkedIn top companies and LinkedIn fastest growing companies. Any of those sort of like company lists that are out there that you're used to seeing, we have pre-built into our platform, and you be able to be used from a targeting perspective. And then lastly, you'll sort of see we also do have custom segments. So we do have a suite of like pre-built audiences that you can tap into that cater to different personas that we see on the different on the platform. And then lastly, you can bring in your own data, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in a second, in terms of matched audiences, etc. Wanted to maybe dive a little bit deeper into a couple of the what I think are some of the more important targeting features here. One I want to highlight to you guys is skills. So this is maybe like the hidden gem of targeting on LinkedIn. And this is something that I would say is kind of underutilized on the platform, but could be super effective in terms of driving results for campaigns. And a lot of it comes down to, so people can be endorsed for skills on LinkedIn. You can highlight the skills that you have on your own LinkedIn profile. But we will also, kind of look through and find keywords throughout people's profiles and infer what skills they have based on the information that they've got in their, profile summary, as well as the job experience that they've got throughout their LinkedIn profile. So if you're looking to try and reach people with very specific skills, they might be very niche, they might be very specific. This might be a great way to do it. I had a great example the other day with a customer that was trying to reach AWS, so Amazon Web Services engineers. How would I find somebody, all the different AWS experts on LinkedIn? Somebody wouldn't necessarily have AWS in their job title, but probably would mention it in their experience, and we'd be able to highlight that through skills targeting. So if you're trying to find all those very specific AWS or cloud computing experts, this is one way that you can kind of do it. So bit of an insider tip here. You can bundle together, groups of skills together to try and find the relevant coverage you need to try and reach your audience here. Sometimes up to 60 plus skills, you can bundle them together, and it can work really, really well in terms of trying to reach specific groups. And here's another example. If we wanted to try and find somebody in the medical field, you can see here in the middle a bunch of the different medical skills that we've bundled together: medical ethics, legal ethics, healthcare compliance, etc. So I guess this is more of an ethics, example. You can see up in the top, somebody who, if you're trying to reach a digital marketer, you might choose digital marketer, account management, strategy, PPC, social media, etc. So again, think about skills-related keywords that might relate back to the audience that you want to try and reach. Those can work really, really well by leveraging skills targeting on LinkedIn. The other targeting opportunity that I wanted to highlight to you guys is interest targeting. So this is something that we've really grown and developed over the last 2 years at LinkedIn. And so this basically, comes down to two different things. So one, what's happening on the LinkedIn feed. So, we see what people's interests are by their behavior on the LinkedIn feed. So what content do they consume? What, reactions do they have, liking, commenting, sharing, etc. on the LinkedIn platform, or what hashtags they follow, or maybe what pages they're members of. So any of that sort of like content consumption or content behavior, we also take, and because we're part of the Microsoft family, so LinkedIn is part of Microsoft, our sister company is Bing. So we actually do get search histories from our sister company at Bing for all of our LinkedIn members. So with interest targeting, we basically marry the two together. So we use content consumption together with people's search histories, And that's what powers our interest targeting capability. And this can be super powerful because of that. So you've got the intent of search built in, with the behavioral that we see from the content side. So if you haven't tried interest targeting on LinkedIn, I would say this is certainly one that you would like to try and test out, and you can get significant impact from. And in terms of the topics and the interests that are reflected in here, they're both general, product specific. Certainly, can be, professional and more B2B in nature, but also increasingly we're adding more and more, and you can see some examples of it here. Here are some of our latest subcategories in terms of interests that are available for targeting purposes on LinkedIn. Think, energy, tablet computers, retirement, pensions, et cetera, et cetera. And you can see on the right-hand side here, whether it's general interest, product interests, you can drill down deep into these subcategories and select the multiple different interests that might make the most sense to drive your targeting strategy to find the audience that you want on LinkedIn. So those are two of the more effective ways that you can target on LinkedIn. And then to find an audience, you can take any of these and sort of layer them together. Usually would not recommend that you layer together more than 2, maybe 3 at the most different types of targeting criteria. But once you do, you'll be able to settle in on that audience that can work well for you, and then launch a campaign and see how it goes and optimize from there. Couple of other opportunities I wanted to talk to you guys about. Mentioned it in the preamble there, matched audiences. So this is the ability to bring your data into the LinkedIn environment and find, your customers on the platform. So we've got a number of different ways that you can do that. First and foremost, simple website retargeting. You can put a LinkedIn pixel on your website, and then you can retarget people who have visited your website before. We can similarly do the same thing with someone's LinkedIn company page. So again, you can create an audience off of people who have visited your company page before. So pretty standard stuff and works really, really well. And particularly the company page example is obviously unique to LinkedIn. 2, so what we call contact targeting, or this is obviously referred to commonly as matched audiences. We do have full matched audience capability on LinkedIn. So whether you've got like an email list of your customers or some other customer list, you can upload that into the LinkedIn platform. We can do a match, so we can find those customers, on our platform, match them up with their member profile. Once you do that upload, usually takes like 24, 48 hours to do the match. We usually tend to have very strong match rates on LinkedIn. And then from there, you can decide to either target that audience, or you can you can even suppress that audience if you don't want to market to your exact customers on there. So contact targeting is available on LinkedIn, and whether you're doing, targeting or exclusion can work really, really well to try and reach those customers. Next one I wanted to talk about is very unique to LinkedIn. It's called account targeting. So this is the ability for us to target people only at specific companies. And what you would do here is just upload a list of companies that you would like to target individuals at. And this is all about, sales and marketing alignment. So your sales teams might be, only trying to reach, particular companies with their sales strategy. Using account targeting at LinkedIn, it gives the ability for marketers to support sales in that effort. So great example here. Let's say you only wanted to target people at, particular telcos. Well, you just upload a list of Bell, Rogers, TELUS, etc., and we would only target people at those specific companies. And obviously, you can use our other targeting criteria to narrow down what types of people at those organizations you'd like to try and target. So this is very unique to LinkedIn, obviously, with the nature of the LinkedIn platform being the largest professional community. Most companies of any sort of scale globally are on our platform. So we have the unique ability to be, the place to go online to be able to do account targeting. And, pretty much from a B2B standpoint, almost every customer that we work with, if they're doing B2B marketing, will have an account targeting component to their activity on LinkedIn. It can be super effective, and we've got some very specific tools and reporting which can make this type of account targeting or what's in the business commonly referred to as ABM, so account-based marketing. We're pretty foundational in terms of that here at LinkedIn. So if you are trying to do B2B marketing, having an account targeting campaign going on LinkedIn is pretty much a no-brainer. And the last one I wanted to mention here is lookalike. So, if you're looking to try and increase your reach or find other customers that look like your customers, you can use our lookalike capability to expand out your audiences. We'll use our machine learning and AI to find other people who look like your audiences or look like your customers and allow you to increase that reach. And then next, to kind of continue along the retargeting vein, we also do have very specific capabilities to retarget or build retargeting audiences based off of particular interactions on the LinkedIn platform. Our number one most requested capability for years was retargeting based on video. So can I build an audience pool and retarget people who have seen my video on LinkedIn before? Most certainly can do that. And so you'll see video on LinkedIn, and we'll talk you guys through sponsored video here in a minute. You can build retargeting pools based off of people's video views, whether they've seen 25% of your video, 50% of your video, or your full video. You can build audience pools based off of all of that. Also, if somebody has leveraged a lead gen form on LinkedIn, so if a member's opened a lead gen form, completed it, or somebody opened a lead gen form and did not complete it, you can build audience pools based off of either one of those interactions. And we've also built out some other capabilities around retargeting, things like events, like I said, website visits or pages, company page visits as well. So certainly a full suite of retargeting capabilities on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's sort of the overall primer on LinkedIn targeting. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you're finding some opportunities here in terms of how you can find your professional audience on the platform. This is probably a great place for us to talk about, okay, if I want to launch a campaign, reach these audiences, what does that kind of look like? How do I reach my, my buyers with the different, marketing products that LinkedIn has available? So this is kind of the overview of the marketing solutions that we do have here at LinkedIn. And, you'll see here sponsored content is our flagship product here at LinkedIn, which is basically the ability for you to, sponsor or promote either a publicly posted piece of content from your company page, or it can be just a dark posted piece of content that you're using just for the purposes of your advertising campaign. Sponsored content comes in 3 different flavors. You'll see on the left here an example of video. So we've got, sponsored video. We've got a single image, version, which you'll see second from the left here. And then lastly, a carousel, which is, swipeable multiple images that you can sort of swipe through. It tells a continuous story. So those are the 3 different flavors of sponsored content. And sponsored content pretty much works anywhere through through the buying cycle, whether you're doing, top funnel, mid funnel, bottom funnel, anywhere that you're trying and reach somebody along the consumer journey, we can see that sponsored content can pretty much play a part in any of those. Next, sort of like the 1B, if sponsored content is 1A, sponsored messaging is 1B and works great in concert with it. And this is basically, a suite of message ads. So, we used to refer to this as in-mail for years. We now talk about it as sponsored messaging. Comes in a couple of different flavors, which you'll see here on the page. One is our basic message ad format. So this is the ability for you to send a customized one-to-one message to a member. And you'll see it's text-based here. We also do have an accompanying ad unit in the desktop version of this. And so this is much more of a one-to-one, type of message, and can be very effective in terms of driving actions. Trying to get people to, sign up for a newsletter, come to an event, visit you at a conference, come to your webinar. Any of these types of things where you're looking to try and get somebody to try and drive an action. Sponsored messaging can be very, very effective there. This can also be tweaked so that you can send a sponsored message from the company. So from your company page, or it can be somebody from the company. So maybe your CEO wants to have it come from him directly to a member, which can be very effective, or your VP of sales, or some other notable decision maker at your organization. We find when that customization does happen, it can really increase conversion rates as well, which is great. And then the other version which we have is conversation ads. So this is kind of like the next level. And I'm actually going to show you an example here. So this is kind of like our 2.0 version of message ads, where we can drive prospects to multiple landing pages, whether it's sign up for a newsletter, visit the website. You can serve up somebody a lead gen form to try and get them to become a lead and give more information. This conversation ad unit we launched about a year and a half ago. It's kind of like a guided question and answer experience. Some of you may have experienced it in your LinkedIn message box by now, where the consumer can actually ask like basic questions. We use chatbot technology to kind of allow people to sort of choose their own adventure, have this guided question and answer sort of experience. Conversation ads, because of that, have proven to be very, very effective, because this conversation almost sort of like allows the member to pre-qualify themselves. Is this offer available to me? Is it something I'm interested in? And once they kind of will drive down deeper into it, conversion rates, open rates tend to be very, very strong. And so I would say if you're very action oriented or very lead focused, conversation ads, if you have not tried them, are probably like the #1 thing that I would recommend that you test if you're looking for a test opportunity. I'm actually going to go back one here just to highlight a couple of our other LinkedIn ad formats, which you didn't cover, but you'll see on the right-hand side, we do actually have a couple of desktop formats as well. Things like dynamic ads, which you'll see on the right-hand rail of our desktop experience. They're cost per click only, and the dynamic nature of it is that we will take someone's profile picture and actually dynamically insert it into the ad unit itself. So it's sort of like associate the member with the brand, make that association. It's literally the easiest ad unit to run on LinkedIn, dynamic ads. We also have text ads available as well, which you'll sometimes see at the top of the page, but now more often down the right-hand side of the page on the LinkedIn desktop experience. So both of those are cost per click only, desktop only, but because of that, actually get very, very good conversion rates. So something definitely to check out as well. So wanted to jump forward and just maybe, I've mentioned lead gen forms a few times. Wanted to just touch on lead gen forms here. What are lead gen forms? Well, these are actually, a free service that you can use with any of our LinkedIn ad products. And this is basically something you can use as, as the, sorry, as the call to action for any of your ad products. So whether it's sponsored content, message ads, you can serve up a lead gen form here. It keeps people within the LinkedIn environment, but we will auto-populate the form with the information directly from the members' LinkedIn profile. So it's a great user experience. So we'll auto-populate their name, their company, their job title. You can also have some custom fields that you can, add in there yourself if you like. But you select which default fields you want to include in the form. But it's a great user experience. It's a lot more frictionless in terms of having somebody convert and become a lead. If you leverage lead gen forms, it doesn't cost anything extra to leverage lead gen forms on LinkedIn. So certainly encourage you to try this out. We've found that conversions using lead gen forms versus driving someone to a landing page are usually 5 times better. Again, just think about the auto population here and the more frictionless experience versus driving someone to a landing page and then they have to start fresh filling in a potentially long form on a landing page. Lead gen forms work great. Definitely encourage you to test them out on your next campaign. And then in terms of getting the leads, there's a couple of different options here. Your marketer can either download those leads directly from our campaign manager tool and then send them over to you or your sales team, or we do have also custom integrations with almost any of the major CRM systems out there. So if you use Salesforce, if you use HubSpot, you use Marketo, we actually have integrations where we can drive the sales lead directly into your Salesforce or directly into whatever your CRM is, and then your sales team can action these leads right away. So, we are connected to pretty much all of the major, CRMs that are out there, and definitely encourage you to try that because then you can really, create a high quality, high velocity lead generation campaign, leveraging lead gen forms, and have your sales teams be able to action them right away. One last one here that I just wanted to highlight too is our LinkedIn audience network too. So if you're looking to try extend your sponsored content campaigns, we also have an audience network of pre-selected sites that we've partnered with to actually host LinkedIn ads. But you can use all the same LinkedIn data, LinkedIn targeting that we've talked about today, but have it appear in a brand safe way on other partner websites. These are largely Microsoft sites, finance sites, and other sites which have the same quality bar that we do here at LinkedIn. So definitely an opportunity to use LinkedIn Audience Network to try and increase the amount of reach and frequency that you've got on your campaigns, and all of the brand safety that's required is all pre-built and included in the cost of leveraging our LinkedIn Audience Network. So check that out too. Okay, so wanted to pivot from here and just talk about measurements. So certainly you want to make sure that you're building meaningful customer relationships, but also driving value for your brand and value for So I wanted to highlight a few of the metrics that you can track on your LinkedIn campaigns, and you can sort of see here that they're organized by common marketing objectives here. So whether you're doing brand awareness, whether you're doing engagement, or something more bottom funnel like lead gen, we've got a full suite of reports that you can access right within our campaign manager tool, or your partner at Postmedia can help you with that as well. One thing that I'll sort of highlight here across the board, which is unique about our reporting, is the reporting can be broken down by the different audiences that you're targeting and tracking against on your LinkedIn campaign. So thinking earlier about all the different targeting that you've selected, we also do have all of our reporting available by these same customer segments. So you can slice and dice and break these down and look by job title, by job segment, by seniority, etc. So you can really start to get a really granular view of what's working and what's not, by all the different targeting metrics that you've selected, and it will allow you to sort of, take that learning and apply it moving forward into your LinkedIn campaigns. The other thing that I'll mention here, and which can be very, very helpful, is we do have a lot of next level measurement solutions that can take you to the next level in terms of your measurement capabilities that we've introduced. So we've got things like clean room environments where we can report in conjunction in a clean room environment with customers. We can show sales impact if you're willing to share sales data in a privacy compliant way. If you've got offline conversions happening that you would like to have included in your reporting on LinkedIn, that's definitely a capability that we have. And then also a new measurement capability which we've introduced is brand lift studies. So if you are looking to try and measure the brand lift, the brand awareness, the brand affinity that you're generating from your campaigns on there, we've now launched native brand lift studies available right through the LinkedIn platform that will allow you to quiz and to survey people and allow them to sort of see what kind of an impact your campaign is having, on those different brand metrics that you select in there. And you can see here all of the different requirements to participate in that. But we just launched this literally in the last 2 months, and have had a huge amount of advertisers taking advantage of this. So definitely something to check out. Lastly, on measurement, I did want to give you guys, a view of website demographics. If you'll take one free tip out of everything that I've sort of talked about here today, this would be it. And not a lot of people take advantage of this, but I think it's something that can be hugely effective for almost any brand out there, which is a free tool called Website Demographics that we offer at LinkedIn. You don't even have to be spending or have a campaign at LinkedIn. You do have to have an active ad account. And then you can install a LinkedIn pixel from that ad account. But Website Demographics is a free service that we will offer that will analyze the types of professionals or people that are visiting your website And we'll analyze, the people that are visiting your website based on our LinkedIn data. So we'll show you what types of professionals are coming and visiting different parts of your website, and be able to tell you based on, what company they're from, what their job function is, big company, small company. Again, any of the different, targeting criteria that we just outlined earlier. We provide this free tool that will allow you to break down the demographics of the members that are visiting your client's website. So this is a great tool just to get a better understanding of what the audiences actually are that are visiting your website. So again, it doesn't cost anything. You just have to have an active LinkedIn account. Talk to Postmedia about how to get this set up, because this could be hugely valuable data in addition to your analytics data, where you can get a better understanding, again, based on our unique LinkedIn professional data. Who are the professionals that are really visiting my website? What do they look like? Where are they coming from? And that can help inform what you're targeting, and your marketing campaigns can look like from there. Okay, we're coming up to about quarter to the hour. I think we're doing okay here time-wise. So hopefully you guys have gotten a couple tidbits about what we've been kind of going through here today. Did have a couple of updates in terms of new stuff. So what are some of the new things that are coming from us from the LinkedIn Canada side? And then we'll have a few minutes left at the end with Nicole for questions. The first thing I wanted to highlight to you guys is something we're very excited about, which is our new LinkedIn Learning and accreditation capability, which is LinkedIn Marketing Lab. So if you want to learn more about LinkedIn marketing, about all the great stuff that we're talking about here today, we do now have a free training and accreditation center where we can take you through online learning for the fundamentals, like the basics of LinkedIn marketing, as well as more of an intermediate view, which is more of the strategy of marketing on the LinkedIn platform. If you visit training.marketing.linkedin.com, everybody repeat that with me. It's like it's a beautiful jingle. Training.marketing.linkedin.com. It just like rolls right off the tongue. I know. Just visit that our LinkedIn Marketing Labs training center there. You can sign up, do all the online learning that you want. And then if you'd like to become accredited and get a certificate in either the fundamentals or the intermediate, you can take a 60-minute quiz. If you pass, I believe it's with 75% plus, then you can get that certificate and become LinkedIn marketing certified, which is very exciting. You can put it on your LinkedIn profile. You can send it to your mom, your friends. Yeah, we really encourage you guys to check this out. We actually just in January launched 10 new modules into the Learning Center here. So this is a big investment for us. We want to make sure that you guys have all the information that you need to build your marketing knowledge, and, as it pertains to LinkedIn marketing solutions. So definitely check it out. Training.marketing.linkedin.com, and we'll get you going and trained and certified there. A couple of other on the ad side of things that I wanted to share. One, we actually have a current beta going on with a new ad product, which we call LinkedIn Document Ads. So if you're looking to try and get people to interact with, any kind of documents that you might have. So think like a PDF or an ebook or a white paper. If you're looking to try and get people to engage with any kind of content like that, we actually do have a special document ads unit, which will, house whatever unit you have. You can upload it in there, and then members can actually interact with and actually read that document right within the ad unit itself. And so this has been hugely popular so far. It's going to come out of beta later this quarter. So I think by the end of March, this will actually be publicly available. So we can help you out with the beta if you would like to get whitelisted to become, a participant in this beta. In the meantime, just let us know. But again, if you're looking to try and get people to interact or to generate any interest using any of those different media assets that you might have, document ads might be right for you. So check it out. Next one that I wanted to touch on real quick, and this goes back to what we talked about earlier in terms of ABM or account-based targeting or, account targeting. So uploading a list of companies. When you have a special, company engagement report, so if you are leveraging that targeting on LinkedIn and only targeting specific companies on the platform, we now have a special company engagement report that will report back to you on the impact and the engagement that you're having with those companies on LinkedIn as part of your campaign. And this works for both organic as well as the paid component of the campaigns that you're running on LinkedIn. So this report is contained right within our campaign manager tool, and it works with all of the different ABM audiences that you've created. So again, very special report here with a wealth of information that can allow you to dive deeper into what companies you are having an impact with and in what way that again can be used to inform your strategy, your ABM strategy moving forward. So very excited about this. And actually in Q2 of this year, there's a lot of additions being added to this, which I actually just found out about this morning. Still undercover, but I can tell you that there's a lot, more great stuff coming to the company engagement report very, very shortly. So excited about that one. The last one I wanted to share with you guys before we close up here today is LinkedIn events. And so you've probably seen more and more events popping up on the LinkedIn platform. So this is something that we introduced over the last year where, we'll allow, companies or individuals to actually run specific online events on LinkedIn. So it is basically an event container and a full virtual event solution that if you are looking to try and bring your event to a professional community like LinkedIn, you can host your event on LinkedIn. We do have our LinkedIn Live video streaming capability, which you can take advantage of to actually stream it if you like, or if you're using WebEx or Zoom or Microsoft Teams, you can plug in that video capability to LinkedIn event here too. So we can help you with any of the RSVPing that you need to be able to do on there. We have a sponsored content component where we've got an event ad unit that you can use to advertise your event and increase, the amount of people attending that event. And then you can also build, if people attend your event, you can actually retarget people afterwards. So you can actually, build a retargeting pool based off of people that have, attended your event before. So events for us is a long-term bet. We don't see this as going away. I know, post-COVID world, things are starting to coalesce back to the office, but we do think that, virtual events, webinars like we are all on today, will be, kind of a permanent fixture on the scene for many years to come. So this is a huge investment that LinkedIn has made and continue to make over time. So if you're looking for an event solution, something to consider there too. And so that's kind of a couple of the new things that are coming from the LinkedIn side of things that we're very excited about and wanted to share with you guys today. And I know in the last couple of minutes that we had available here, we maybe wanted to open things up for possibly a few questions. And I don't know, I'll invite Nicole into the conversation here. Nicole, how are we doing in the chat here?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. There's been a lot of questions as you've been going along. I've been trying to answer them as they've popped up here. One that I thought I could throw over to you was about the new account-based targeting. And the question was, will it look at previous history of work history, or is it just those that are currently working at those companies?
So it is the current company that you're at. So if you're looking to build an audience, you will be able to build it off of the companies that people are currently employed at. Yes.
Perfect. And a couple questions have popped up about advertising policy.
Yes.
As we know, many platforms have some restrictions. Yep. A new question that just popped up here was around advertising for a winery.
Yeah, I see that one there from Ruth. Yeah, great question, Ruth.
Yeah.
So with regards to alcohol, we do have definitely some ad policies around that. Usually in terms of talent or sort of employment types of advertising, that is usually fairly open, and so we can usually work with you to be able to advertise on the LinkedIn platform. Where we kind of run into trouble is if you're more trying to advertise products or services. That might be, including alcohol, or I see a question there from Spencer around cannabis, anything around that. We don't allow any of that on the platform, but if it is, around companies that are looking to try and promote talent, find new people to bring on board to fill roles, usually that would fit within our ads policy. So great question.
Yeah. And to say around the cannabis one, if there was, if it's more educational or editorial type of content as well, that seems to be okay. Again, it's just really if you're looking to actually promote the purchase of the product, that becomes an issue. That's the same on other platforms
That's exactly
as well.
it. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Think about any of those government, campaigns that you've seen where they're talking to consumers around, any of those educational factors. That would usually be okay. Yep.
Okay. Oh, lots kind of popping in here. Questions about LinkedIn events.
Yes.
Is the event or video recorded and available to be posted? Okay. And viewed on company account pages.
Yeah. So in terms of, LinkedIn events right now, it's, it's based around, either the company page experience, or, certain individuals can get greenlighted for doing LinkedIn events too. And then you'd be able to use the LinkedIn events capability. No problem there. Build your event, track it through there. If you wanted to use the video streaming capability, we've opened that up a little bit now too. I believe your company page has to have at least 1,000, followers to be able to use the live streaming capability now. And so if either of those criteria, fit you, then yeah, you'd certainly be able to use the LinkedIn events capability, no problem. Audience stats, I see a quick question on there. There's a variety of different stats in terms of, who's attended, how they've attended, how long they stuck around. We can maybe include that in sort of a takeaway here. I don't have all of the stats right in front of me, but you usually do get a full suite of stats around, the attendance and what the members were. And then also, like I mentioned earlier, if you did want to kind of build, sort of an audience pool out of those attendees, you could do that, and then you could leverage that for a LinkedIn campaign later on down the road. Yeah. I see one about hearing aids. So we do have some ad policy restrictions around, medical devices as well as pharmaceutical drugs. So just something to keep an eye out there that either one of those two, there are some restrictions in those healthcare areas. And so we can, kind of get a little bit more specific around what that looks like there too, if you like. But yeah, there's, medical devices and pharmaceutical drugs, there are restrictions as well.
Perfect. I think that covers the questions that have come in so far. Unless there's any more, I think we're good.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff and Nicole. Jeff, that presentation was awesome. Lots of insights. I learned a lot too. And Nicole, thank you for moderating the Q&A in the chat as Jeff went along. And thank you everyone for joining us today. If you are looking to learn more, you can visit our blog at postmediasolutions.com, or you can connect with one of our digital consultants for more information. Keep an eye out for that email with the recording. Lots of valuable information. So I'm sure you guys will want to go back and rewatch it and retake some nuggets out of there. And I think that's it for today. So thanks again and have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.